What is your name and how long have you been working as a teacher, whether at SAUSD or outside of SAUSD?
Okay, my name, Naomi Kadinoff, and I have been teaching, I think I'm in my 19th or 20th year of teaching, generally speaking, and I've been I think I'm in my 10th year at SAUSD, and I did teach prior to that. I worked at a college, a university ultimately in Boston in student services, so an arts school, well, visual arts school in Boston.
And what will you miss most about teaching?
The curriculum design. I know that sounds weird. I'll miss my students' way of poetically thinking. I'll miss their sense of humor, their senses of humor, their creativity, seeing them grow by leaps and bounds. Those are the ones I'll miss.
What was the most rewarding part of your career?
I think the most rewarding part is when I see the lights go on in students. I had this experience a couple years back when I took a group of students over to OCMA, Orange County Museum of Art, and the students were so freaking excited. They were like darting it was terrifying because I was afraid that they'd knock something over, but they were just like propelled at works of art. They couldn't stop themselves. And they came back into the classroom and they were transformed. They were different people and they discussed art differently. They created art differently. They became part of the art world. So they had this new community that they didn't know they belonged to prior to that.
That's great. What are you most proud of?
I think the trauma-informed teaching and the social emotional learning. I feel like that is transformational teaching, and it opens students up to learning art over the course of their lifetime. So they can be lifelong learners, they can be artists, whether they get paid for it or not. It's kind of another story.
And what legacy do you hope you've left behind?
I hope that they will live better lives. I hope that they'll have more joy in their lives. I hope that they will become more themselves and continue developing their personal voice, their creativity, just being who they are, sort of self-actualization.
What's something you helped build or grow that you're proud to leave behind?
I think the art program here, generally speaking, is in a different place. And if you look at these tables behind me, I know they're just physical tables, they're just stuff. But this is more of a place where kids come in and they say, oh, wow, this is a place that's different from any other classroom. And the tables are up high, I can stand or I can sit. They're tough, I can really do some serious creative work in here.
What advice would you give to someone just starting their career?
Build a bridge. Build a bridge with your students. It's probably more about relationships at this age and mentoring students as human beings, whole human beings, not just, how pretty the pictures they make are. Their brains are the work of art because they are developing their brains in new ways. Even if they're not getting it yet, they might get it later. We're planting seeds.
And what are you excited to do in retirement?
I'm working with a friend on a nonprofit organization called the Art of Your Well-Being. We are creating workshops for mental health organizations and for community organizations, people who work with people who can get very burned out. The joy of creativity is really important to me. I'm starting to exhibit my artwork at the age of 62. I'm kind of entering the art world for real now. So.
Any last reflections or well wishes to your school, district, or community?
I would say to the community and also district arts office, Thank you for letting me be part of this journey, like going on this journey together. To parents of my students, thank you for allowing me to work with your children and to support them and coach them through this process. Um, and hopefully awaken their spirits if they've been trampled on.